Stuff. Oh, wait. Now stuff and things. I think. Am I actually recording? We're unmuted now. Good morning, good evening.
Happy Faz Friday.
Good afternoon, good night. We are here at FazRadio Central. This is one room. This is another one right here. He's in the basement, and I'm up where the sunlight is.
I'm not in the basement. I'm upstairs.
It doesn't look like it. Why is it like Dracula's house in there?
I built a brick wall for this studio to make FazRadio look better.
You need some serious tuck pointing, dude. Okay.
Well, you know what? I am not a mason expert.
Okay, well, the purple dye is a bit over the top. But hey,
purple dye.
The purple dye looks like a weird
no,
color.
that's my lights. I have nice lights to give ambient light down here. I can change the color every week. I change the color.
Okay. So
I'm in a red and yellow mood tonight.
Yeah. Well, I'm in a yellow and white mood tonight. So I guess I'll start in with this here. So we're going to be selling things like this. Well, actually, we did sell one right now. This is an awesome cup, man. This is even cooler, I think, than this cup. There's something in there.
What you have in your cup?
I don't know.
Is that your little blue pill?
Must have been. Anyway,
you're out of luck tonight.
This is still a very cool cup, but this one is a limited edition FazRadio Halloween 2024 cup, and it's 15 ounces. That's like a lot. It's like 2 Coke cans, right? Almost.
How many?
So 2 Coke cans. 1 Coke can's 8 ounces.
Since when is a Coke can 8 ounces? They used to be 12-ounce cans.
Oh, okay. Well, you can put at least 1 Coke can in here. I don't think you can. This is 11 ounces. You can't put a Coke can in that. Anyway, yes. So I was putting together like an Etsy store for this and linking it up with this other tool we had, which is that I can actually order these from. And it asked for a shipping label. And then it reminded me, it's like, hey, do you have like complete rights to your logo? And I was like, oh, shit. Well, we have been a hobby cast for the last 3-4 years, something like that now. And at the time, I just grabbed an emoji, this microphone emoji, and made a logo with it. And I was like, hey, they're all open source, right? And so, no, this one's not. It's owned by Microsoft. So since we haven't made any money off of this yet, we can't be making money off of this. We're selling this. This is okay. But I need to change the logo, which I did. So now let me show you some new logo-age. In fact, if you've been on the FazRadio Discord, you'll notice that my own Faz logo has changed to that already.
Oh, my goodness. I just realized what the problem is.
You forgot to start the cast?
No. Worse. So I'm wondering why I keep getting a crappy connection. I'm hardwired, but I have Wi-Fi on, and it's blinking at me that my Wi-Fi is bad. So I think it's defaulting to the Wi-Fi.
So here we go. So this is the Halloween FazRadio one. This cup with this Halloween one will be stopped being sold on the 31st of October. So if you are like one of those OG people, you should get one. Now, I should also mention on this cup in particular, I'm not taking like any profit. Okay, like $2 profit. But I'm not really taking any profit on these. So damn expensive as it is. So they're what, $30? Is that what I said they were? $30? Because it's
$25.
Did I say 25? Let me make sure. I don't want to say something.
I think you said $25.
I actually, in the channel, I posted my actual like expenses and stuff.
I posted the announcement. I know what you told me to put in there.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's $25, it's $25. But if he's wrong and I'm wrong, then it's 30. But maybe that's the shirts with the really good shirts.
I think you're thinking of the shirts.
It costs $10.95 to make this. It costs, sorry. Yeah, $10.95 to make this and $10.95 shipping. If I'm going to ship them to individual people. So that's like $21.90. So I'm saying $25 so I can get like $3.50 or $4.50 profit. 3.5. So that's the first one because I don't have the Etsy shop. Anyway, the new logo. This is it right here. I wanted to still have the microphone, but still have something that looked good with the FazRadio. Now we do have more. That's your mug. Yeah, that's right. You did buy one of these. Oops. Sorry about that.
I'd be careful, Think Tank. He's probably going to lick the rim before he sends it.
No, it's actually coming straight from the place that makes these. So I will not have touched it. Anyway, I have a few variations. I would also like to show a new shirt that we have, but it's with the old logo. So you would get it with the new logo. I don't know. Maybe we should. I've worn this once, so I don't know if we should auction it off. But this is the FazRadio backstage. Oh, where'd it go? FazRadio backstage shirt right here. I should have been wearing this today.
And so we've also, by the way, we had a great discussion. By the way, Zorro had to dip out last minute. He was hoping to be able to be here tonight, but Zorro, Faz, and I had a great discussion a couple days ago. And Faz is, I'm not gonna spoil it by showing anything, but the people who come on as guests are gonna have a guest shirt made for them, and it's really epic. I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. If I went on a show and got a shirt like that, I'd be pretty happy. So if you do come on as a guest, you will receive a guest shirt as well.
Well, okay. I'm sorry. This backstage one is for premium members for our new premium plan. Let me pull up the.
My goodness.
For a second. Let me pull up the one. Maybe people should help pick, because I came up with two versions. Remember, if you're going to be on the show.
Yep.
Okay.
I like both, but I had my preference. There's no doubt.
Okay. Let me pull it up right here. I got to make sure that you don't see all my other designs. Like this one. Let's move this one out of the way. Okay. I have a Christmas one too.
That one's really cool.
The Christmas one. Yep.
I like that one a lot.
And I'll just leave these on the screen. Ta-ding! Okay. So I kind of like this FazRadio featured one right here. However, because we have the backstage shirt or the backstage stuff, I was thinking of an on stage. So on stage or featured. You guys tell me what you want, what you like, in the comments, maybe, perhaps. This says we're recording. We're streaming and recording at the same time.
Yeah, you must have hit a setting to record also.
Oh, it says Titan has low disk space. That's new. Don't lick the mug. All right. Anyway, so what do you guys think? On stage or featured? Now, the front of the shirt or certain areas will have this featured or on stage. Actually, I'm not sure if I want to put the year on here like this. It's just a thought. Do I have any without the year on it? The backstage one there. So tell me what you guys think.
I think the holiday merch is so far my favorite, and I don't mean to minimize all the work you've done on designing this stuff, but
I'll come up with
the
more.
holiday stuff. The holiday stuff is really good. I enjoy that a lot.
Well, I've been doing the zip bugs for a long time, but I've been having more fun like making these logos. So I don't know if there's anything you don't like about the logo. Probably change eventually. I like the idea. I like the idea of things changing over time to be like, oh yeah, I remember when it was like that, and it gives me a lot more opportunity to play around with stuff.
You do like your nostalgia. There is absolutely no doubt about that. 100%.
Yes. Yeah. You mean old stuff.
Yeah, and you like having things numbered when possible and yeared when possible.
Well, of course.
And reminiscing about the old stuff. I had someone recently tell me that they watched our first episode ever. And that was probably one of the funniest shows I think I've ever been a part of. We had started off and we got like our intros in and who we were, and Faz made a comment about crypto. I made a comment about crypto, and Faz goes, "Okay, well, that'll about do it." I'm like, "What?" We've only been talking for 5 minutes. So we've come a very long way. Yes, we have.
Okay, I'm gonna move these out the way, but I'm gonna show a couple more because this is what I mean by I like a lot of different designs. So these could be bumper stickers. These could be for the podcast. Start like this. So we got different colors here, different versions of the microphone, depending on, I don't know what mood I'm in. This one looks a bit off center. I got to fix that. But yeah. So I wanted something that was as close to black and white as possible. I still haven't come up with a complete black and white, I think. One that's like black and white down here somewhere, like this one. That's the most black and white one that I have. So FazRadio Grateful Dead edition merch. with a little bear on it. That's copyrighted also. All right, enough of that. So I figured we could talk about this week a conversation that Titan and I had earlier this week about crypto and what we actually try to do with crypto when we're buying crypto and what we think about if it's even useful. We're like really small. Is this like the biggest we get? Oh, there we go. How's this?
No, yeah, that's it right there.
Okay, this work well for the shorts?
No, we're not doing shorts on these. We just talked about that last night.
Okay.
Unless there's like a super good clip, I'll pull it manually.
Good. So, yeah, how do you think of the state of the crypto world right now?
Well, the state of the crypto world. Hey, I kind of laid it out. If you guys go back into the Crypto Stuff channel on Discord, Faz and I had a pretty good conversation. That's where this is stemming from. And we talked about this a couple of times, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 times over the last 2 or 3 months. And I do have the narrative set. I think crypto is just about done for now. And that's not to say it won't come back 5 years from now, maybe in a different form. But I think we're to the point now where it's just utter stupidity. Everybody has a token. Everybody has a node. Everybody has a project. Everybody has a platform. And I'll sound like a broken record for those who are fans of the show and hear it. The project is always taking a back seat to crypto stuff. And all it is pumping tokens and pumping nodes and pumping Web3 when it's not even Web3, pumping the decentralized buzzword when it's not even close to decentralized, just to say that they're doing something crypto. And the projects ultimately don't do very well because they're spending all their time on tokenomics, tokens, and marketing around those things, and nothing ever gets done for the platform or the project. And I think that and the rugs and the scams and everything else out there, it's just too much. People are tired of it. They're tired of the rugs. I don't think we're going to see any good, solid, serious adoption on the crypto side. I want to be very, very clear about that. I'm not saying that people's projects are ass. I'm saying that the crypto portions of that, in most cases, aren't even needed and will hold that project back.
Okay, so I see crypto a lot like no XRP yet. I see crypto a lot like I saw email. So I met Titan when I joined the military in 1990, 1991, I think I met him. Before that, I was in high school and I ran a bulletin board, which is kind of like Discord back in 1988. And I used email since 1986. From 1986 until I joined the military, I used email. But email was a bit different than it became in the 90s. The internet wasn't exactly, it was there, but it wasn't exactly something that everybody used. You had to pay a lot of money, and you got like America Online. America Online was around in 1987. You had rudimentary email. I didn't even have that. I had a bulletin board, which is a computer connected to a phone line, and people would call up. And the bulletin boards would actually, if you wanted to send email, you could send it to other people on the bulletin board, or if it was nobody was calling between 12 midnight and 2 in the morning, my phone would call other bulletin boards and exchange email. As a result, the emails would take days to arrive, and so it was kind of pointless, really. Yes, AOL, it was the shit. No, actually, I never used AOL. I used what was called Quantum Link, which was a competitor. I don't know if they're still around, but AOL couldn't be used by a Commodore 64, which is what I had. Anyway, I see crypto being like email. Email has been functionally around since the late 70s. And it was usually like in a corporate setting or like the bulletin board setting that I talked about. Is pretty like a la carte and not really ubiquitous. Starting in the 90s, email became a big thing. Everybody needed email to like send messages to each other, but you couldn't really like, I think sending attachments came a little bit later, but it wasn't useful until like the late 90s, early 2000s, when you can actually like get bills and like, get all sorts of things for it. Checking your email became a necessity after a while. I think crypto's like that. We have a proof of concept out there. It works. People don't know how to use it, just like they didn't know how to use email. To be fair, the fax machine was actually invented in 1930, but nobody could figure out what the hell to use it for. And it wasn't until like the 70s and 80s that fax machines became used a lot. But so yeah, people aren't going to know what to do with crypto for a while until some big player picks it up. And I think that's what happened with email. Some big players started making email useful, by sending a newsletter or sending a bank statement or something out via email, and then became important. So I think crypto's too complex right now. You have to know a private key. You have to be very careful with your wallet, and people still need to be very careful with their wallet, but it's still not like your grandma can't use it yet.
Well,
big thing.
That's why I say I think you can make a comeback. And I think once it all gets shaken out and the people start building a project and then add crypto to it instead of the other way around, that's when the adoption happens. And that falls into where we are today and where we had this conversation the other day on Discord is about the way that we're using our tokens, right? So I'm not a buy and hold person anymore when it comes to crypto, at least with shitcoins. I hold a couple of big high ticket blue chips, if you will, and the rest I just trade the snot out of, and it's about the profits. Absolutely 100%. I learned my lesson. I finally had it ingrained in me to sweep profits because I would do the same thing. I'd buy it and I hold it and I'd wait for the big pump and wait to sell it. And I'd get all these little mini pumps in between. And like a dummy, I wouldn't sell. So it was very early in the Playable cycle. And it was probably right around the time that we interviewed Playable. And my holdings like 50x'd because they had a big pump. And even my wife, she's like, sell it. And I'm like, oh, it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. I have a feeling it's going to keep going. And it didn't. And I missed out on like a ridiculous profit on
why
that.
Why not just sell half?
Well, because I was greedy. See, there's where it comes in, right? I was greedy. I'm like, because at the time, it was doing nothing but going up in chunks every few days. And I'm like, oh, this will continue for a while because it had been like 2 weeks, every day. I'm like, I'm going to give it another week or two and then I'll take some profit. And sure enough, I mean, I got profit, yes, but nowhere near what I could have gotten had I sold at that point. And that really taught me a lesson because it was mid 5 figures I could have walked away with. And instead I got just a portion of that. And so I at that point is when I started changing it. And we did a show on it and I've been talking about it ever since, that I do a lot of trading on Stellar Term. I don't trade on centralized exchanges. I use Uniswap and stuff like that, but I do a lot of trading and I'm not emotionally attached to these projects anymore because I know how quickly things change. And we're in this weird time frame right now where you'll get a pump or two out of a token for a startup that launches and then it flatlines and that's it. Because there's not enough use for the token. There's not enough. And I'm not, after the last 3 years of what many of us have been through, I'm not interested in becoming emotionally attached to a platform anymore. I'm looking at it completely differently now. That is a means to an end, so to speak. It's there for that, and it's to be able to give me that profit that I can take and put into my blue chips for long-term use.
So I was going to say I'm completely opposite, but then you mentioned this blue chip business. So it sounds like you have coins that you hold forever and coins that you don't, but you spend a lot.
That I hold long-term, maybe not forever, but definitely long-term. And by long-term, I mean more than 2 years.
Okay. But it sounds like for the most part, though, that you basically just want to buy and sell, right?
Yes, any shitcoin not named Bitcoin, I buy and sell.
So so I couldn't be any more completely different than you. And this goes back. I've had the same strategy for 4 years, which is I'm looking for companies that I think will get big and stay around for a while. Now, I'm not always successful with my predictions, but I mean, at least I predicted 1 or 2 that have gotten big. But I'm looking for the next Google and the next Amazon and stuff like that. So I want to get in early on those because that's where you're making the real, retirement money right now. So I guess that's what I would, what you might call your blue chips. But like Bitcoin, I'm holding that forever. I'm going to continue buying that from now on. 3 years ago, I would only buy it at certain times, or be like, oh my God, it's going up. I got to stop buying. Or, oh my God, I'm going to wait for it to go down. No, I just buy it all the time now. I have it just buying stuff every day from Robinhood.
And I do the same.
And every once in a while, I'll go sell it off of Robinhood and then just use that money and just go buy it for a wallet, and then just go stick it in my wallet.
I do DCA hourly.
Well,
I buy Bitcoin literally every hour of every day.
$1,000 an hour, right?
I wish it was $1,000 an hour. I'm hoping that's what I'll get to take out, is $1,000 an hour by the time I'm done.
Anyway, Bitcoin is going to be worth something. It's going to stay good forever, period, in my opinion. Things like Ethereum, I think Ethereum will have a heyday and then eventually get replaced. But it will, as long as it keeps up, fine. It's going to present competition for whoever tries to compete with Ethereum, like Cardano. Cardano, I think, is a much more capable version of Ethereum, but it's not catching on because people aren't using it. I think so. There's a lot of these coins around, like Polkadot and ADA and some others, that can do a lot, but there's not one big actor using them.
Do you know why?
Well, I'm telling my story. So, and that's a different angle, which I'm happy to go down after I'm done with my diatribe. There's not one big actor using them, and things are going to eventually get to a point where there are a lot of big actors using them, and Ethereum's not going to be enough. Different companies and different entities will want different features. Ethereum you can't like stream video with Ethereum, for example. There's blockchains for every single piece of functionality you want. Some people have also been predicting that blockchains will converge, like Ethereum and Polkadot and Cardano and stuff like that. They're all going to start merging after a while and all do the same thing. I don't see that. I see that they will try to merge, but they'll kind of go in and kind of like the airlines. They will go past each other. There will always be a certain area that one crypto will do just a little bit better than the others. Anyway, tell me why nobody's using.
Because everybody's making their own.
That's cool. That is perfectly fine. We need a world where everybody's making their own new and interesting crypto. I'm in the software
not
development.
only the crypto, blockchains.
I get it. I'm in the software development world. I can tell you that there's all sorts of tools that I've used over the years. Some have gone away. Some have gotten bigger. Remember jQuery? That was a big thing. It was really cool. And then some real JavaScript frameworks came along and made jQuery, a bit obsolete. Funny though, jQuery is still around, still has a little niche. And cryptos, I think, is going to be a lot like that. Everybody coming up with their own coin and own blockchain is just like a new set of tools for new set of software development tools. They'll go in and out. And if they get a big enough team, they will stay around and address new things. That's okay. We need the creativity. Now, it might be just the big boys or the certain people who are making all the money only use specific cryptos. But there's going to be some very interesting niche cryptos, I think, that you'll never be able to get rid of.
I think that's part of the reason why you keep seeing these articles that say, Ethereum's dying. And it's not being used as it used to. And all of a sudden, gas fees hit the bottom, and it's because there's not as much on-chain activity. And it's because everybody's doing their own blockchain and their own token, and you don't have mass adoption. For the longest time, Ethereum was really the only rail you could jump on. And then Polygon came out. That was the first big layer 2, and it was still a little bit dependent on Ethereum, but then Arbitros and Base Network and Avalanche and all of these other super fast blockchains started populating, and people would start putting their tokens on there and kind of forgetting about Ethereum. And then it got like microdosed at that point, right? Then they said, well, not only can you use Avalanche, but we'll give you your own fork of Avalanche to where you can customize the Avalanche blockchain however you want. And the same with the Cosmos. And Base is in the process of doing that now as well. So you don't have all the people funneling into one or two blockchains anymore. You have them saying, well, why would I want to use any of those when it takes me 25 minutes to spin up my own over here?
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I remember, watching the internet form, and at first, when I was in college kids would all make their own websites, and there's no real places to go. There's no portals back then. I'm talking about 1995, 96. People would just make their own websites and say, hey, look at my website. And your website would really just be a collection of links. Eventually, like Yahoo came along, and Yahoo started. In fact, Yahoo at first had just all the links on the page, and eventually they, after a long period of time, then they started they categorized them. Then after a long period of time, the search bar came, but any website with a search bar really sucked ass until Google came along. Are you blowing
what was
smoke
that
in your
called?
microphone?
No, I'm trying to remember. GeoCities. Do you remember GeoCities?
Okay, yes. Well, that's where I was getting. So everybody had their own website, and then at a certain point, Yahoo GeoCities came along, and then you couldn't have your own website.com. You could post your website at such and such a place like Yahoo GeoCities, and there's oh my God, this is the end of people making their own websites. Everybody's going to go to a portal like Yahoo GeoCities and then have your website. Well, then your website was I don't know, fred.geocities.com. It was really stupid. So it wasn't as cool, but it made things a lot easier. Over time, there's lots of, let's just fast forward to today, where you can use WordPress, okay? Yeah, WordPress is an Insta site, or you can make your own. So here's the question. Are all websites WordPress? No, they're not. There's half a dozen WordPress-like entities out there, each of them with their own way of doing things. And there's still plenty of people that will do it manually themselves. I've only ever done websites manually. I'm not really good at WordPress because you have to learn all these widgets and gadgets. I just rather program it myself. So none of those go away, and there's new website creation stuff coming out all the time. Heck, AI is probably going to be, after a while, you'll probably say, hey, ChatGPT, make me a website for X, Y, and Z and post it here. And then boom, bam, zoom. And this is my domain name. Boom, bam, zoom. It's all done. Okay. But
they have that now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me finish. Fine. They have that now. There's still going to be people that will craft websites their own way. There will be WordPress. There will be all sorts of stuff. There will be 50 different ways to make websites. And I don't think for a very long time, you're ever going to have one way of doing a website. And that's what's nice about the internet sphere is you can do things 50 different ways. Crypto can be done the same way. Everybody seems to think, well, let's just get one currency and make it a lot easier so people don't have to think about it. No, you don't have to think about it if there are tools out there, especially AI, that will, if I want to pay you in Fred coins, it'll automatically convert, trade, swap, whatever is necessary to get value to you. And then maybe you only want Bitcoin. You say, hey, pay me in Bitcoin. And then I'll say, okay, I'll send you 50 Faz coins. That should be enough for your one Bitcoin, because Faz coins are worth a lot. That should be enough for your one Bitcoin. Then you get one Bitcoin in your wallet, and you didn't have to worry about all that bridging and bullshit. But I use FazCoin because it's useful for me. And as long as there's something in common, you're set up. So that's what we need to happen with crypto before crypto can be used by everybody, in my opinion.
Well, and this is what I talk about a lot too. So if we have our shop up, right, the FazRadio store, and I put in there, we only take Indian rupees, or we only take Japanese yen. If you want to buy a FazRadio t-shirt, you need to pay us in Japanese yen. How much adoption is there going to be, and how many sales are going to be lost because we're forcing people to go get Japanese yen instead of just using dollars?
No, I think
that's
I don't
same.
Think it's not going to be like that. In my opinion,
it is now, is what I'm saying. With everybody having their own token.
Okay, so I think what's going to happen eventually for crypto to catch on is, say you prefer Bitcoin or you prefer dollars. You're going to look at FazRadio.com. You're going to want to look at a t-shirt, and it's going to be just, the site's going to be automatically set to dollars because maybe when you signed up for an account or something, you just chose dollars as your default, or maybe it assumed dollars as your default. Who cares? You're not going to see the price in FazCoin. You're just going to see it in dollars. However, if you did use FazCoin, you get these extra things about it. Just like when you go to the store, you go to the grocery store, you can use their coupons. You go to Faz's site, you want to use Faz's ecosystem, you could do that. Or you could say, fuck all that, I just want to pay in dollars. Give me my damn price. Okay, $25 for a cup. Good, I bought myself a cup. Problem solved. So I don't think people are going to need to care if they really don't want to worry about certain cryptos. They'll just say buy, and then everything will happen behind the scenes and happen. So now if you have 3 or 4 cryptos, say the Faz website uses a specific feature of crypto that Bitcoin can't have. Okay. You want to pay in dollars or you want to pay in Bitcoin, you just won't get that feature. It'll be like, boy, it would be nice. You could get the glow into the dark one, but the crypto feature doesn't allow you to do that. So you're going to either have to pay in FazCoin, which is just a drop down, and then convert your money over to FazCoin, and then there you go. So I think a lot of the stuff is, there's going to be so much stuff done in the back end, and you're gonna treat them a lot like coupons. Using store coupons is useful, for the people that use them. I know you're rich, you're a big rich crypto guy now with all your day trading, but some people use coupons.
No, it's not like a coupon. It's that friction that we've talked about so many times. And whether or not you want to only accept FazCoin, or if you're going to withhold things because they're not paying in FazCoin, that's going to push people away. And Think Tank is saying one world currency. I'm not saying one world currency, and I'm not trying to be a Bitcoin maxi here, but what I'm saying is that I do believe that if you had a well-known standard, which Bitcoin is obviously the most well-known coin out there, and you use that standard instead of FazCoin, you will get far more sales from Bitcoin than you will FazCoin.
Okay, let's talk about friction. Okay, when you go to the grocery store or buy a car, you get friction using US dollars. Okay, so I go into the store yesterday, I go shopping, and I see, oh, something's on sale. This product I want is on sale for $2.99 instead of $5.99. Great. Well, the first thing I think is, wait a minute, are they discontinuing it? But the second thing is, why do stores always have a fucking sale every goddamn week? It's like the lowest price is like one time of the year or 2 times of the year, and the rest of it they're marking it up, marking it down. They change the price literally every damn day. If you go to a clothing store, they have price tags that aren't even paper anymore. They have little screens on them so that the prices can change daily if they want to. So Yeah, you're going to get the friction with US dollars. Or if you use Bitcoin, you're going to get the friction there. It doesn't matter. The point is, people will automate as much of that friction as possible. But anybody trying to sell you anything, most people try to hide a lot of stuff. They want you to think you're getting a deal, and so if you buy it in bulk, you're going to do better, or they want you to think that you're getting something better, and it's not, and they're just going to charge more. So you can't get away from that.
With this friction, I'm not sure you understand how deeply that impacts things. So every step that you have to take to do something out of the norm, e.g., ripping out a credit card versus a Bitcoin wallet versus bridging tokens, then getting another token and then paying for something and then having crumbs left over and then having to try and reconvert that because you converted too much or too little. All those points are going to slow down the person's will to get whatever product or service you're offering. And there's so many steps. And right now they don't have, Faz, they do not have a one-click convert this to Fazcoin and it's paid. It doesn't work like that yet.
I agree. They don't have it right now. And I said, that's what's going to be needed for the kind of adoption that will make crypto as ubiquitous as dollars and email right now. You don't have to worry about with email. You don't have to worry about bouncing emails off of specific servers. You don't need to worry about validating addresses beforehand. That's all done for you now.
Well, there's platforms out there, multiple platforms out there that have, let's say, like if it's games or if it's something where there's multiple people on there, like there's that, what the heck is the name of that podcasting platform that they got? Fountain, right? Where everybody has their own tokens and stuff like that. You not only have to manage one main token for the platform, but then each person on that platform has their own token, which creates yet another layer of friction and confusion for people. We've given advice both online and offline, in public and in private, to people, begging them, just do what your platform is supposed to be doing. Worry about the other stuff, the complicated tokens and all that. Worry about that later, because without people on the platform, your cool token and cool tokenomics are going to be worthless because nobody's using it. You have to onboard people first with familiar things. Then you add those little options to encourage them to get there. That is the problem, in my opinion. The biggest problem with crypto platforms, people have the most amazing ideas, and then they hold themselves back because they insist on having their own token do everything, and there's 5 different tokens, and this one feeds off of that one, and then we haven't even gotten to staking or hosting or holding, and it gets so complicated. People are like, screw that. I just wanted to go there and pick out a shirt and support the thing and take advantage of the service that Faz has available.
So
that's my point.
Okay. So right now people are doing everything under the sun because the internet, used to saying the internet in the 90s, the internet was the Wild West. The blockchain is totally the Wild West right now. It's the Wild West when it just started. There's so much possible to do that people are just trying to actually make it happen. As far as it catching on, it's not going to catch on until you have what you say, which is a simple service that uses Web3 and that you need Web3 for. You need a killer app. You got to have something that people can't live without because it's not available anywhere else, and it can't be replicated and it can't be replicated on Web 2. That's when that will tip.
No, I don't think it has to be that way, right? So we've had some fantastic interviews lately. And for those of you who maybe just see the ping here for FazRadio Live, we've done 3 stellar interviews lately with builders. And 2 of the 3 are released at this point. So go look at those. These ideas that they have are out of this world, and I think will be extraordinarily successful. And I asked the questions during those interviews around this topic. And it's not to try and push back on them or say they're doing something wrong. What it is that they're not going to get the level of adoption I think they hope for if the gate to the kingdom that they're selling is crypto. And the focus is on crypto. Build your platform, bring people onto the platform, and you get a large user base. Use fiat. I know it's a dirty word around here, but use the fiat. And then once they're on the platform, you can start integrating the crypto and say, hey, Faz, listen, I know that you love my platform where I sell wine, right? I'm a winemaker. And I have you, and I have 45,000 other wine connoisseurs on here because I have a different way of selling wine than everybody else. And it's the customer service, the best on the planet. Perfect. I even send you a free roll of cheese so you can enjoy cheese with your wine, right? Fantastic. And then I kind of go, hey, you know what? So I do want to do some Web3 things. And if you buy tokens on the platform here, you'll get this and that and the other, and you add that value, and you get people used to using those tokens for small things, upgrades. Maybe my wine has 3 tiers, and if you buy the tokens, you get upgraded to the next tier at the same price, whatever. Okay. But people will be more inclined to take a shot at the dangling carrot with crypto rather than if I gated my community and said, if you don't buy a Titan token, and we're going to have Titan token as the main token, and then each wine producer on there has their own token, and you can only buy their wine with their tokens. Do you see how people would go, you know what? No, I just want to buy some wine, and I think your platform's cool. Why do I have to jump through 20 hoops to get a goddamn bottle of wine?
Okay.
That's
okay.
my complaint, because you love telling me I complain a lot.
Are you looking for a fight?
No.
All right.
But I'm trying to hammer my point home is why I'm not emotionally attached anymore. Because they focus so much on the crypto and not enough on their platform is not going to be successful if they're gating it with crypto.
Okay. I agree with that actually quite a bit. And I think we're saying the same things from different angles. I think I'm a bit more optimistic about how I might want to invest because I'm looking for winners and you're looking for profits. Now, of course, I want profits too. I think, let me finish. I think that there's a lot of profits when you pick the winners, but there's a lot of money to be made by idiots out there. Anyway, what I wanted to get back to was, it used to be, Think Tank here was saying, so there was a lot of different cell phone manufacturers until there was a network big enough for 1 or 2 to take over the majority of the market. Yeah, okay, great. What happened with the television networks? See, it used to be that NBC, ABC, and CBS, and maybe PBS to some degree, owned everything. And then cable TV came along, and then, of course, you can get to everybody else's CBS, NBC, and ABC, PBS markets. And it still kind of ruled things. But then you had companies like HBO and Cinemax and stuff like that come out. HBO, by the way, is starting to tank. Then Netflix came along, and it was like, okay, we can give you all those things. And once that happened, once Netflix started giving you everything from everybody, you didn't need to go through a cable company. Now everybody had their own goddamn streaming service. And so you might pay, I don't know, your cable company like $50 a month and get all the channels or its group of channels or whatever. And you might pay Netflix a certain amount of money a month to get all of its channels. But now you can't get some things unless you're on their streaming network. Everybody has one. CBS, NBC, I remember a number of years ago, the new Star Trek Discovery came out, and I had Netflix, and I think I had Amazon Prime and Netflix, and it wasn't on either of those, and so I had to go buy another service, the NBC, whatever the fuck it was, which eventually became the Paramount Network, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so if you want to watch Star Trek now, you have to use Paramount Plus. If you want to watch other programs, you need to go to their networks. And so now we have all these balkanized networks out there with all a bunch of different things. Everybody wants to have their own. Unfortunately, none of these networks are any different than each other. They don't offer anything new other than just TV shows. And so now it's worse. And of course, I know you're going to try and take a victory lap here and saying, well, crypto's like that too. My thought is, okay, I don't mind there being $50 cryptos out there. And I like the fact that only one or two are the ones that you really want to use. Bitcoin and Ethereum, they have very specific needs and uses and stuff like that. Great. But if somebody else comes along and does something better, I'm happy to see that happen. So I like the idea of having ubiquitous coin that everybody uses, but I also want an option to choose something different later.
I I agree with you with that. Okay. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. What I'm saying is that you're not going to get the big adoption when you catalyze everything to your own blockchain and or your own token. I think that if eventually you want to break into that, once you have your goal is to bring 50,000 people to FazRadio. And once you hit that 50,000, if you wanted to introduce your token gating and introduce the token and everything else and go Web3, fantastic. I don't think you start out like that.
Okay.
And that circles back to, let me finish because you didn't let me jump in on you before when you made your comment about it being about profit. And it's a short one, no diatribe. It is about profit at the moment because these companies are so fragile at this point. And they pump, and then usually they dump. So if there's a platform that I can see long term, I might put that in there. But as of right now, the vast majority of companies will not make it. And so if there's a quick profit to be made while they're trying, I'm all over it. But I'm not going to become emotionally invested until I see real results from a company. That's all.
Okay, so you have two different directions. I'll hit the other one first. How many accounts do you have?
What does account mean?
Okay, how many website accounts do you have? Because I lost track.
Website accounts.
Yeah, you got to log into a website. You got to log into StreamYard. You got to log into Hostinger.
200 high 200s, like 270, 280.
Okay, so there was something that I was implementing back in 2011 called single sign-on, because everybody had an account on 50 different websites, and if you just use the single sign-on thing, just like you sign in one place, like with Google, and a lot of people use that Google single sign-on, to where if you have a Google account, okay, well, we'll just connect our services to your Google account. Yeah, people don't like that for some reason, which is interesting because you'd think that it would be easier. that's kind of not cool. My thought is that the single sign-on isn't isn't done right, which is I invent a new email address. I own my domains, so I invent a new email address for every site that I sign on to. That's also a better sense of security, because if you look up my password on one website, it could be the same on another website, but then you'd have to know the email address. And, sometimes they're just random letters and numbers for the email address. Anyway, single sign-on hasn't caught on. And so we have account spam everywhere. You have to log into, you have to, use 1Password or LastPass. Well, we shouldn't say LastPass, because that's LastPass.
Yeah, don't go there.
Yeah. I use 1Password to hold all my passwords so that I can log into any number of million sites out there and it pops it up. You're going to need things like that with coins too, for the coins to work properly. So we're both kind of in agreement that things aren't ready right now. And I think that they will be ready once the thing that you're saying actually happens, where it actually pulls it together and makes something useful and people don't have to think about it. They just press a button. Now, about the investment part, yeah, there's a lot of money to be made off stupid people. I just watched a movie the other night, last night, called Dumb Money, and it was about the GameStop thing. GameStop, how it went way up, and some people made a lot of money from that. And what I liked about it is a couple of the things that it said in the beginning was dumb money is what hedge funds call ordinary people who try to invest in things. And hedge funds know what you're going to invest in, and they know how they've controlled the whole thing, and they have all the shares. And so if you're going to buy something, you're generally buying from them. But every once in a while, something comes along like GameStop that totally screws them over. And in the case of GameStop, it's kind of funny. They had a Reddit that kept them all communicating with each other. And what's interesting is, I don't know if you remember that, but the Reddit was causing all these people to communicate, and the hedge funds were all, losing their shirts. The Reddit went down. The Reddit got turned off, and so they couldn't communicate anymore. And those they're literally trying to stop people from communicating in well, it's probably still a centralized way, but people a lot more decentralized than they had previously if they'd gone through hedge funds. And also, Robinhood went down too. That was another reason. Most of the GameStop stuff happened through Robinhood, and Robinhood only went down because it couldn't handle the traffic. So it just kind of gets me. You when you have all these big players, there's this boom and bust cycle where everything consolidates into one thing and then it breaks up. Back in 1900, there was Standard Oil, which had all the oil, and then that got broken up into a number of different oil companies. I'm just thinking trash companies. There's lots of different trash companies here in Oregon where I live. There's not one trash company that rules them all, which is interesting. I don't know why. Maybe it just doesn't scale well. But I've seen a cycle where things come together and split up and come together and split up. And I think things need to split up to get all the new technology out, personally, to advance things, to move things along.
Well, I think you're going to see that naturally happen as things pare down and as crypto continues to cool off. People don't want to play, roulette with their money anymore. They know that this market is a tough market, and the big part of why they put money in these tokens is to get profit. 99% of people are in this to get profit. So yeah, it's really difficult. And people are like, I'm not playing this game anymore because I can't be glued to my phone or my keyboard 24 hours a day that this stuff trades to not lose my ass in this thing.
This is a tough market because the jobs are really hard to find these days. The jobs in the job market is, well, in the tech sphere at least. I know it's a lot more, but the tech sphere at least, it is the worst it's ever been. And there's a variety of factors for it. But when you see the economy going up, the economy booming, that's when you'll see a lot more interest in crypto, and crypto will advance a lot further. There'll be more money to get a hold of. So people aren't investing because they just don't, there's not enough money out there.
I wanted to comment on this, Think Tank, because for the past 7 or 8 months now, I've been shamelessly talking about Rabby Wallet, RABBY, Rabby Wallet. And it looks like MetaMask. It's almost like MetaMask. Except what it does is it consolidates all the chains together in your wallet. And it gives you, when you pull up your wallet address, you have all of your tokens for all of your networks all on the same page, just like in that MetaMask.
So it's for all blockchains?
Almost all blockchains. I have every one of the blockchains I use, and I use a lot of them, are in there. Now, wait, it gets better. Because as Faz, what you were wishing for and hoping for in the future, Rabby does. If you go to a platform that's on Avalanche, it'll automatically, without you doing anything, switch over to the Avalanche network if you try and make a transaction. And if you go back to ETH, it'll automatically switch back to ETH. They do not have yet where you can just use like one token that you have in your ETH wallet and pay for it on the base network. It's not that far yet, but that's where they're going with it. They want to get to. So it is slowly starting to get where you want it to be. Yeah.
OpenSea is doing that too. If you remember, I have a number of different ZipBug collections, and I went to OpenSea, and I have some on Base and some on Amazon, AVAX, and some on Ethereum, and some on Polygon and stuff like that. And OpenSea now, it's just like, I mean, if you make a new wallet, it's going to use the same address, and so it's okay. You just switch the chain. MetaMask doesn't have to go very far to just put some glue in there and just make it switch between the different ones. The hard part.
Well, if Rabby can do it, they can do it. You know.
Well, what's interesting is with OpenSea, if I have a wallet, if I have a login, it associates it with multiple wallets that all have the same address. My Avalanche address is the same thing as my base address, and it's the same thing as my Ethereum address. The problem now is if you had older wallets like that were just AVAX by itself, you're going to have to remember those and hook those up yourself. So Rabby, I bet, does something very similar.
Well, it's easy. It reads, you can give it permission to read your MetaMask, and it'll pull everything out of your MetaMask automatically, so you don't have to set anything up. And it's really slick, man, the way that they've done this, and they keep improving over time. So I am a big fan of that. That's why I've been talking about it, because it's starting, like MetaMask hasn't done shit really over the past 3, 4, 5 years to improve very much. Rabby has come out with a lot of new features. They have this cool thing. It's like the little stuff. Remember how we talk about like the little stuff makes the difference? If you want a new Ethereum address in Rabby Wallet, you click new, and it has a shitload of addresses. You can pick your own address. It doesn't just assign you one. You can look at them and go, oh, my lucky number's in there. Or, oh, wow, I like the way that one looks. And you can pick that one, and it loads it up for you. And it's automatically connected to all the other chains. I mean, it is slick. It really is. I've been playing with that a lot, and I really, really like it.
Where's it store your key?
It works the same as MetaMask. You get your initial wallet, and you have your seed phrase for it. Excuse me. I'm still getting over this stupid cold that my middle brought home. And so you can then take that anywhere, but it also, like I said, hooks directly into your MetaMask, and it runs off MetaMask. So it doesn't pull the private keys in. It runs off of your MetaMask, kind of piggybacks on it. And what's really nice too, what I really like about it is like if I have like a billion different accounts in there, right? So I have my main trading account. If I open my main account, my balance, I don't have to switch networks to see my balance on every single freaking network. It's the consolidated balance of everything I have on every network associated with that address. And then it lists the tokens, and it has the little symbol with the token of what chain it's on. So you can instantly recognize what token or what network that particular token you have it on. I mean, they've done what everybody's been asking for from MetaMask. They've done. I'm sorry, I don't even get paid for this, but I'm plugging them on a regular basis because this wallet is truly amazing. It is fantastic.
I'll have to look at that. Anyway, we've hit about an hour, so we should start shutting this one down. You have any last words?
I do. Thanks for coming out to see us live. Hopefully Zorro will be back with us next week. As usual, I love Friday nights and getting on here and running through all this cool stuff. Thanks for listening.
And my goal is to get these new logos out, so hopefully we'll have a new intro by next week. Anyway, where's that button? I think this is it.